Hi folks, Ben here from Lancasters. This is a message to landlords just to keep you updated with the recent changes to notice period legislation. So as of the 29th of August 2020, the notice period that you have to give to your tenants to vacate a property is now 6 months. Okay, there's been a little bit of news in the headlines about it, not too much sort of frontline stuff, so you might have passed you by. If you've got an ear to the ground, you probably would have picked up something about it. There was a government press release the week before, on the 21st of August, suggesting that something like this might have been coming, but we couldn't tell you about it any sooner because the detail behind that just wasn't released, and it was all very brief and susceptible to sort of interpretation. So on the 28th of August, Friday, late in the afternoon, the legislation was released, and it came into effect the following morning, the 29th. So we had very little time to react to it, but we have subsequently been on the training courses and swatted up on exactly what the minute detail of this legislation means. So in essence, for 99% of you out there, your notice period to your tenant, if you want to either take the property back for your own personal use, or if you want to have the property empty, or if you want to end a tenancy in order to move a new tenant in, what used to traditionally be your 2-month period of notice period, that has been extended for the last few months to 3 months during the COVID time, that is now 6 months. So your standard notice period for all normal assured short hold tenancy agreements is now 6 months. Okay, I know that seems like a long period of time, but sorry folks, it's true. It's a law change. We have no power over it. I've had a few landlords talk to me, say, well, I've got a contract here with my tenants that says 2 months or 3 months. Yes, you may well have, but unfortunately law trumps any kind of private contract, so it is now 6 months for everyone. Okay, there are a couple of exceptions to it, but they are really in the sort of rare minority group. In fact, they are all for things that we have, in all the history of our company, have never had to issue a notice under those terms. I will run through them with you, just in case anybody's led you down the garden path on websites or social media forums thinking there's ways around this. There really isn't, but I'll explain what they are anyway. So in cases of either antisocial behaviour, the notice period is 4 weeks. Domestic abuse is 2 to 4 weeks. False statement is 2 to 4 weeks. Over 6 months of rent arrears is 4 weeks. That could be relevant to some of you, which really shouldn't be. And breach of immigration rules is 3 months rather than 6 months. Now, to put that into perspective, as I say, we have never ever had to issue notice on any of those sort of principles there. It is not just that you feel your tenant is being a bit antisocial, so therefore you can make use of this loophole. It is one where you've got reported and evidenced cases of it, police involvement, prolonged periods of time. Similar with the domestic abuse, it has to be evidenced independently, police sources, those kind of things. False statement is very difficult to try and justify. Again, would need legal involvement with the solicitor to be able to justify and evidence that. 6 months of rent arrears might be relevant to some of you, but then again, if you've really got a tenant that's already in 6 months worth of rent arrears, you've got probably bigger problems than this. I've never known that, but I guess that it could potentially happen. Breach of immigration rules. Again, right to rent checks, that is really making sure as long as you did your right to rent checks at the start correctly, then that shouldn't be an instance. So there are those 5 exceptions to the 6 month rule, but they are very, very much less than 1% of the tenancy agreements out there, and cannot just be used as a loophole. The main headline, the takeaway from this, is that all tenants must now be given 6 months to vacate the property, regardless of whatever your contract says. And this new piece of legislation is in place until at least March 2021. Okay, that's as a minimum. It could be extended beyond that period of time, but up until that point, up until March 2021, we are definitely in a scenario where it is 6 months minimum notice to ask for a tenant to vacate a property and end a tenancy. Okay, hope you found that useful. Any questions, you know where I am. Please do come back to me and the team here. Really happy to help.